photographer's gallery was set up in 1971. I'm upstairs now in the print gallery where you can buy some of the photos that are on display. You can see works here by Faye Godwin, Ian Stewart and the Douglas brothers. Now that is the sort of place that I'd like to go on holiday, but do you know some Londoners would give their back teeth to go and see something like that? Why on earth would you want to chase bad weather? Well, I asked BBC weatherman Peter Cockcroft to pack up his charts and find out more.
Counting to Peter in 5.
I normally do my weather forecasting from the relative shelter of the BBC London studios.
But today, I'm off to meet a man who likes nothing more than being stuck in the middle of the filthiest weather he can find.
I see myself in the pouring rain. I watch hope come over me.
Whilst most of us are hoping for a little sunshine in our lives, BT engineer Peter Scott goes looking for rain, and when he finds it, he films it.
It just does it for me. It's just special, different. Not everybody does it, and when you tell your friends that you're going out to go and chase storms, it's like, oh my God, and they're fascinated.
How you doing?
Come in.
It's just looking a bit stormy out there. It's just starting to rain.
Oh,
That's
excellent
just
stuff.
what you want, isn't it?
What happened in the last storm that you chased?
We was in a place called Dickerborough, just outside Diss in Norfolk, filming a cell coming over, lots of lightning coming out, striking. Slowly moving towards us, getting closer and closer, and then eventually it got a bit too close, and we got, well, I was standing by a car with two friends. This lightning bolt came down and the shock wave put me down on my backside. It was that close.
Peter devotes virtually all his spare time to his unusual hobby, and once a year, for an extra special treat, he flies to America to experience the ultimate storm chaser's thrill, a tornado.
It's still coming this way.
Well, it's just a little good.
In the centre of the screen you've got a tornado which is coming down from the cloud. It's really very close.
It's right over there. Oh, something's getting lifted off the ground.
Shouldn't we get out of here?
Yeah.
That's a house being lifted up and disintegrating.
A house?
Yeah. Fortunately they went back afterwards and the occupants of the house had gotten the storm cellars.
So how do you feel about that? You're getting kicked out of watching this.
The thing you have to appreciate is that it's an awesome part of nature, but nobody wants to see people's lives destroyed, wrecked or ruined.
Well, this looks quite interesting, Peter, down here. The old radar, very bright echoes. I'm just wondering whether we should head down to the south coast. It looks as though there's something going on down there. And there's actually somebody I'd like you to meet down there as well.
Let's do it.
So what do you think of your son's hobby?
It's marginally better than train spotting, isn't it? Most people go on holiday for good weather and they don't pray for storms. It's just not what normal people do.
So where do you think he gets this obsession from?
For Peter and his fellow extreme weather chasers, the ultimate storm is called a supercell. They're extremely rare in this country and can be highly destructive.
I haven't got my weather computer with me today, but I'm going to see if I can explain to you, with the aid of 3 pieces of chalk and a pavement, the difference between an ordinary storm and a supercell. With a normal storm, what you get is warm, moist air rising and the cloud forming, and then the droplets get big enough to fall back the other way. They become the raindrops. Now as they come down, they bring cold air down. Eventually all the raindrops and the cold air cut off the warm air and the storm dies. Now with a supercell, it's different. The warm air rises, but as it gets higher up in the atmosphere, it gets blown sideways like that. You still get the droplets forming, the water droplets, that's where the heaviest rain is, but the downdraft is over here and comes down through the rain and away from the cloud. This sort of storm can go on for 3, 6 or even 12 hours. Now you might have expected the supercell to have been discovered in somewhere like the Great Plains of the United States, where they have monster storms, but that's not the case. It was discovered here, in Wokingham of all places.
Back in 1959, the Berkshire town was hit by a massive supercell, which swept in from the channel and produced hail the size of golf balls. Quite by chance, a 21-year-old PhD student was waiting for bad weather to pass his way so that he could conduct some experiments for his thesis.
Hello, Professor Browning. Good to see you.
Almost half a century later, Professor Keith Browning is one of the country's leading weather experts.
So exactly what happened here on the 9th of July 1959?
Oh, it was really exciting. We'd been waiting around in a drought for any storm to come along, and then the one storm that did come was this enormous one. It's interesting that we discovered it first over here.
Well, you're a professional storm chaser. How do you feel about amateur storm chasers?
I think most weather people are enthusiasts, whether they're professionals or amateurs, and so we all share this same excitement and wonderment of the marvels of nature. And I think supercells are as good as they get.
In our quest to track down a British thunderstorm, we've come to Folkestone in Kent. It's also an opportunity for Peter to recruit another member to the UK storm chasing fraternity. Lorraine Evans first became obsessed with extreme weather during the Great Storm of 1987.
I was only a little girl, but I was absolutely petrified. I was amazed at the power of the winds. You know, it was only a few hours and it completely destroyed my neighbourhood, literally, and it just kind of spiralled from there, really. Whoa!
She too has been chasing tornadoes in America. She's even filmed the windscreen of her car being shattered by massive hailstones.
Are you worried?
But she's never been storm chasing in the UK and is keen to learn the technicalities.
Are these easily accessible programs from the internet? Or
Oh yeah. If anyone with a laptop, you can just go out on the road, fire it up, download the web page and get your information.
No, it's an amazing concept to me, storm chasing in England. It really is. I've never really thought about doing it seriously because, well, for one, I use the roads a lot and the traffic.
If you're a bit of a weather forecaster, you can have a better idea of the projected forecast for tomorrow, then you make that your target area.
Down this part of the country we do get some pretty impressive storms when we get them, especially in the summer months.
This year's been really naff.
Yeah, I know.
When we was looking back at home, there was some lightning data that was coming in. It was looking like this could be a good target area. Fingers crossed, we might get something.
Professor Browning is hoping that Peter, Lorraine and their fellow storm chasers can help him with his latest research project. Using this massive radar dish at Chilbolton in Hampshire, he set out to solve a weather forecasting mystery.
Why is this project so important?
Well, you folks aren't very good yet at pinpointing in the forecast where the storms will break out. You can say that they'll most likely occur over the southeast of England, but where are they really going to start?
So exactly how could the storm chasers help you?
It's all very well having these fancy remote sensing equipments, but storm chasers could play a role in driving through the storms and the regions where we think they're going to break out and produce some very valuable complementary information.
But our storm chasing equipment is slightly more modest than Professor Browning's, and in this part of Kent at least, bad weather is proving hard to find.
Are we going to be honest with them and let them know how we really did?
All right.
Definitely.
Okay.
Well, there were some storms around. That's the good news. The bad news is they were all to the north of us, to the south of us, to the east and to the west, not where we were. So after such a disappointing day's storm chasing, there's only one surefire way of seeing a storm. Could you pop the video on, Lorraine?
Okay.
Typical, a weatherman who can't predict a storm. Well, if you'd like to help Professor Browning with his experiment, then there are details on our website, and then maybe you could help Peter get his forecast right. Sorry, Pete.